Hey. All right. The owl was under here. I don't know why they put it under here. I didn't even know it was there, but sorry about that. We found the owl. All right, we're good to go ahead and get started. Good to see all of y'all here. I hope y'all are having a good week and welcome to Christmas season. Next slide. So I will allow everyone to register to open forum. If anyone wants to do that, I will give you a brief moment to go ahead and sign up for that. All right, next slide, please. And then we'll entertain a land acknowledgement. Representative Collazo, do you want to give the land acknowledgement?
We would like to acknowledge that we're living on indigenous land. Moreover, we would like to acknowledge and pay our respects to Carizo, Colorado, Colotican, Calo, Toncoa, Comanche, Lupapache, Alabama, Costa, Kickapoo, Tibu, Pueblo, and all other indigenous peoples and communities who have been or have been a part of these islands and territories of Texas here on Turtle Island.
Okay, thank you. Next slide. All right, first roll call. If everyone can go ahead and fill that out, please.
I think they said there's something. I doubt it. If any days ago, it was like negative. I mean, it's.
All right, we have a quorum, so we'll go ahead and continue. All right, the chair recommends a motion to approve the October 25th, 2022 minutes. Is there a second? Is there any objection? Seeing none, the minutes are approved. Next slide. We'll now open up for open forum. There is one person, the justice from the court, Justice Mackey, whenever you're ready.
Yeah, hi, this should be really quick. I also put it in the Slack. I just wanted to let y'all know. So the Supreme Court did extend our application deadline to November 27th at 11:59 p.m. So if you know people who are interested in applying, let them know. I sent a graphic also. So if you have a following of UT students on social media, please feel free to post that. It has a URL link to the application and all of the information. So yeah, help us get some more applicants. And again, that deadline is November 27th. So they'll have break to work on it as well. Yeah. So thanks so much. And hopefully we will see the results of y'all helping us promote the application.
All right, thank you so much. The speaker will reclaim the remainder of the time. Are there any questions for the justice? Seeing none, thank you so much. All right. All right, now Rizal and I are going to go for open forum. So do you want to present? Sure. Okay. Yeah. All right, hey everyone. Yesterday I put down the amended substitute version of the LAP. Later today, after new business, I will make a motion to take from the table the LAP so it can be referred to committee, so the committee can begin discussions. I'm just speaking up here in open forum to let you know what's changed from the original version, and then allow you all to ask any questions you may have before I make that motion later today. So in the original version, the one that we kind of talked about last week, there were the percentage-based attendance that is now gone. Is now cumulative based off the entire year. There are, in the previous version or in the current rules that we have now, you were able to take 2 absences a semester. This is now been extended to 6 for the 3 semesters that we use our conventional terms for. In regards to the speaker's pay, that has been moved from 6,800 to 5,130. The middle ground between 34 and 50 or 68, based off feedback from other previous speakers I've reached out to who are also small. Substitute, and then also with regards to the incentives for representatives, that has been a lot more flexible. There's no particular cap on it. It's not limited anymore. So that's what's been changed in the original version. Sure, the committee, jurisdiction and rules committee will have discussions on it, and
Just to clarify with the attendance part, Kevin and I sent out surveys to students here at UT. One survey was done online and the other one was done in person, and we collected over 100 filled surveys. And in general, what the students wanted was the majority of the majority was that students thought that rep should have 3 to 4 absences maximum in a year. But in order to also take into account committee meetings that we have, we thought it would be reasonable to make the absolute max attendance or 6 in a year. Right now,
Okay, are there any questions? Representative Whittington? No.
Representative Whittington, COLA, can you resign?
yes, so right now we have 2 absences in a semester before you meet with the ethics committee, and then 4 before you meet with the assembly board. And since we're hoping to move to a cumulative system, we're saying that in a year we'll have 3 for the ethics committee and then 6 before you meet with the assembly board. And the reason we chose this number was based on the survey plus taking into account the committee meetings that reps have to attend.
Are there any other questions? Seeing none, the speaker will reclaim the remainder of the time. Thank you.
okay. Are there any other open forum people? There's one more. Representative Ozuna.
Hello, this will be just really quickly. I'm trying to work with the housing and dining to provide more vegetarian and vegan options for students on campus. I know I've had friends who personally are vegetarian and have talked about not being most satisfied with vegetarian options on campus, as in some days there just aren't any, despite the campus saying they are. So I'm just trying to work on basically mandate that the university follows the already listed rules they have in place for providing vegetarian and vegan options, and more expanding the options on campus, because I know even when they are the options are just the same thing every day. It's just not the best for students. So anyone would want to help work on that legislation, just please reach out to me. Also, my name's Charles, if you guys don't know that. So that's all.
Thank you so much. The speaker will reclaim the remainder of the time. Are there any questions to Representative Pullman?
Representative UI, hey Charles, would you be willing to come see me after assembly? I actually have the contact information to Dr. Tyus, who's the Vice President of Housing and Dining.
Yes.
Any other questions? Seeing none, thank you so much, and we'll move forward. Any other final open forum attendees? All right, we'll go ahead and move forward. Next slide, please. All right, quote this week: "Voting is a civil sacrament" by Reverend Theodore Hesburgh. So if y'all have not voted yet, please go do so. Voting ends November 4th for early vote at 7 o'clock, and then election day is on November 8th. That's correct, right? Yeah, November 8th. So please go vote. It's very important. Next slide. All right, we have a couple of 4 appointees this week. So we'll go ahead and start with the first one, Joseph Cutler to Faculty Council, and I will allow us to get started with that.
Hi guys, I'm Joseph Cutler. I am hoping to be your representative to Faculty Council. Currently, I'm Vice President of the Arts Council of RA 2100 UACs, and I've had extensive history with the student government before. My first year, I served as the Get Out the Vote, Turn Up the Vote, and then my second year, last year, I served as a co-director. Engaging in a lot of civic initiatives, civic education, even back in 2020, getting poll locations on campus for the 2020 election, despite. And currently, as the Vice President of the Arts Council, I oversee legislation, both college-wide and within the college. I have bi-weekly meetings, twice a month meetings with the deans. My interest is civic engagement, government major, French major, and history minor. But I'm open to any questions you have.
All right, the speaker will reclaim the remainder of the time and will now enter Q&A. Are there any questions for the appointee? Representative Holman?
Rep. Holman, UI, what are some things that you would vote on in that?
So we'll vote on faculty council or a lot of initiatives or legislation that will come from, because how faculty council breaks down, you have general faculty council, then you have boards that break down certain easier niches or nodes, like transport. You'll have things about, physical student, student life, et cetera, sort of domains like that, make it easier to legislate. And so things we would vote on is, most recently we voted on, basically, there was a grievance letter basically to do November 2nd, basically saying, regarding prior legislation, if you have a grievance to address it. Basically, you would go in and send an email saying, I have declared grievance against legislation, that would be brought up in the next meeting's minutes. Also, faculty council votes in the academic calendar, and a lot of that was a byproduct of the students' work, both SG and Senate, but also behind my back doors with admin, because they basically bundled everything together, because it was a mix of students like having Thanksgiving off, professors like having shorter exam times. Just the notion of you wouldn't want a professor or a student even to stay 10, 11 p.m. on campus because they have to walk home. That can be really dangerous. Both professor and the student. It became a bundling of a lot of things to solidify those changes to the academic calendar. But it's stuff like that that we vote on all the time.
Rep. Holman?
Rep. Holman, UI, do you collect any student input before you make a decision on how to vote?
Yes, I do. I reach out not only to my council, but across, other college councils. And I would love to do that more here. But no, I definitely do collect student input. Most recently, it's something actually not related to faculty council. But this past Friday, I sat in the shuttle bus committee, which is a once a semester meeting with a collection of UT Department of Transport Services with basically Cat Metro or local Austin city public transport. We talked about buses and how to make it more not only accessible but actually provide for students. And if you'd like me to share some notes on that, if you guys happen to be interested. But a lot of it was trying to gear it to make sure how can we make sure the buses provide students, because in the past, especially in January, we saw the buses not, simply not meeting their times, not having enough bus rides. People live down Riverside, who physically cannot get to campus. And when you have policy priorities in classes that say mandated attendance, that's not even the student's fault that they're not there. That's the bus. They basically live away from campus, and they're one way to get to campus. The bus is running late or doesn't show up at all. So I'd be really infuriating students. That's something I was trying to tackle to find a way how can we make sure the buses run on time and are more efficient.
Any other questions? Seeing none, the speaker will reclaim the remainder of the time and will entertain any motion. Representative Whittington?
Representative Whittington Cola moves to confirm and appoint Joseph Cole to the position of faculty council member by unanimous consent.
Is there a second? Is there any objections? Seeing none, you are appointed. All right, next up is Dana Anawan for the C6 International Programs and Study Committee. Whenever you're ready.
One parliamentary inquiry. Are we not gonna just confirm them all at the end of last time?
I was gonna do it individually, but if we, yeah. All right.
Okay, I am on Zoom, so let me know if you guys can hear me. Yes, no.
Yes, we can hear you. 1 second.
Yeah, okay, perfect.
All right, whenever you're ready.
Okay, perfect. So hello everybody, my name is Dina Antoine, and
I am a second year student. This is my second year in student government, and I am currently one of the co-directors for the Governmental Relations Agency. I'm really passionate about making sure that resources here on campus are just accessible to all students. And I feel most passionate about doing this within the study abroad programs. So I'm really excited to learn more about how UT supports students and the opportunities that students are going to have on campus, and to share that with the greater student body. As someone who wants to study abroad and hasn't had the opportunity to yet, I am like learning and right there with, I think, most of the students here on campus. So I think my perspective of like being really fresh and new to things will be really helpful in making sure that I'm relaying the most important information, and that I'm able to like communicate that kind of like unaware perspective with that committee. And more specifically, I wanted to advocate for more CNS programs. I know that there are a lot of things for the liberal arts and business programs and engineering, but there seems to be a lack of like study abroad emphasis in CNS. So I wanted to specifically work with the committee to emphasize the importance of maybe promoting different programs like that, or encouraging students to look into other colleges for opportunities in study abroad. So yeah.
All right, thank you so much. The speaker will reclaim the remainder of the time. We'll now enter Q&A. Are there any questions for the appointee? Seeing none, the speaker will reclaim the remainder of the time, and will now enter, or the speaker will entertain a motion, sorry. Representative Balakrishnan. International Programs and Studies Committee.
I can do it.
Okay, Representative Holman.
Rep. Holman UI, I move to confirm and appoint Gina to the Office of International Programs and Studies Committee by unanimous consent.
Is there a second? Is there any objections? Seeing none, you are appointed. All right. Next up is Nikita Madhavaram, for C2 Calendar Committee. Whenever you're ready. 1 second.
Hi, I'm on Zoom. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, 1 second.
Okay.
Okay, whenever you're ready.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Nikki Madhavaram, and I'm an appointee member for the C2 Calendar Committee. I believe I'm qualified for this position because of my involvement in multiple UT organizations in leadership roles that have taught me the importance of organization and planning. In regards to joining Senate, being an incoming freshman during the peak of the pandemic made it obvious how important student-centered legislation and decisions were for our academic success, and most importantly, our well-being. Within the calendar committee itself, I know the importance of an academic calendar that gives opportunities for, that leaves room for other opportunities for students to pursue in their own time. And additionally, as a freshman during the peak of the pandemic and during the winter storms, I understand the importance of urgent changes to the calendar to improve our time at UT. I hope to contribute to the calendar committee with legislation ideas that put diverse staff and student needs as first priority. Additionally, now in my second year of being in student government, specifically in the mental health agency, now as co-director, I'm amazed by the work and power of student government and would like to utilize my voice to improve fellow Longhorns' experience.
All right, thank you so much. We'll now enter Q&A. Are there any questions for the appointee? Representative Holman.
Rep. Holman UI. Just out of curiosity, what are your thoughts on a fall break? I know some other schools will have fall break and also a Thanksgiving break. Yeah, just what do you think about that?
I'm sorry, would it be possible for someone closer to the mic to repeat that? It was a bit hard to hear.
Hi, can you hear me now?
Yes, much better. Thank you.
I was just wondering what your thoughts were on a fall break. I know some other schools, like they'll have a week off in October and in November for Thanksgiving. Do you think a fall break is one feasible, and is it something you're interested in?
I believe a fall break is so important, and I'm so happy personally, as even before I was on the calendar committee, that Thanksgiving break got extended into a full week. My college best friend and roommate is an out-of-state student, so especially from her perspective, I see how important it is to have a chance to get to go home and spend time with your family, and even just have the full week off to celebrate the holidays. And from the perspective of any student or even faculty at UT, I believe it's so important to get that chance to just have a break before everything ramps up during final season.
All right, any other questions? Seeing none, the speaker will reclaim the remainder of the time and will entertain any motion. Representative Holman.
Rep. Holman UI, I move to confirm and appoint Kita to the calendars committee by unanimous consent.
Is there a second? Any objections? Seeing none, the appointee is approved. All right, finally, we have Reese Classen to the Student Services Budget Committee. Next slide, please.
Hey y'all, so I'm a sophomore at McCombs, and last year I was, there we go, fortunate to be appointed by the previous administration to SBC, where I got to approve funding for things like Healthy Horns, text program, grad project expansion, tons of other stuff. It's kind of absurd the scale of SBC. Got to work with department heads, coordinate meetings, set up all this stuff. And I really learned a lot about how UT is run and how you can advocate if you know where the money is. Looking forward, some things I like. I'm not sure what it is right now, but the Plan B vending machine is looking to be approved, I think, in the coming year, as well as many other things. And I want to, as middle class, coming from a middle class background, something that matters to me a lot is student wage increases. So advocating for that, but SSB as a whole doesn't have enough money to do that. But with my position, I can talk to people in the right places. Thank you.
All right, the speaker will reclaim the remainder of time and we'll now to Q&A. Are there any questions for the appointee? Finance Director Nguyen.
Hi, Reese. So you're no stranger to how like deliberations work, there's the finances, at least on a small scale, and also spaces. But you know, SSBC exists because of the Texas Education Code being mandated for every university in some way, shape, or form. So my question for you is, what are you looking for because of the sheer amount of money that's being given by SSBC? What great alter for an application for you to get your vote? Such as I know our chair has like a health equity focus and such.
Yeah, like I would say, it's student wage increases. So we could do it. Last year we did it at a smaller scale, with the Senior Learning Center. But we had to reject previous requests like Rec Sports wanted a wage increase to $15 an hour. But we just didn't have the money to approve that. Looking at stuff along those lines, as well as working with other community members, y'all and your hopes and dreams.
All right, any other questions? Representative Holman.
Rep. Holman UI. So what are some things, I'm not sure if this is an SSBC thing, so just correct me if I'm wrong, I just don't know much about it. But how can you in your position like advocate for more funding to like the legislative notifications on like SGs and
Just increasing our budget overall, like the 112,000.
yeah, like, how do you do that? Is this something you can do?
Not currently. We don't have the budget for that. It'd be part of the process of talking to the OS and trying to increase our budget as a whole to really fund all the stuff. Like every year we have 85,000 recurring, and then we have the 40 million overall. So in that 85,000, a lot of it gets used up really quickly. So say if we wanted to increase student government by $10,000 per year, then we have $10,000 less to spend on whatever other projects are. It's a matter of increasing that recurring budget.
Any other questions? Seeing none, the speaker will reclaim the remainder of the time and will entertain any motion. Representative Whittington.
No. Representative Whittington Cola, I move to appoint these classes into the position of student services budget committee member by unanimous consent.
Is there a second? Is there any objections? Seeing none, you are approved. All right, I will now have the Chief Justice swear you all in. Or sorry, the Justice.
Awesome. If you could all stand up, raise your right hand. Perfect. And now you're going to repeat after me. I state your name.
I.
Do solemnly swear
Do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute the office of blank
faithfully execute the office of student services and budget committee
of the University of Texas at Austin Student Government
of the University of Texas at Austin Student Government,
and will to the best of my ability
Will to the best of my abilities.
preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the student government.
preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the student government.
Congratulations.
All right, thank you all so much. We'll now go ahead and move forward. To representative reports, first up is Representative Greenwald.
Still don't like this policy.
Can you speak in the microphone?
Still not a fan of this policy, and with the exception of the bill coming up.
Can you please state your name and college?
Sure. Seth Greenwald, Law School, graduate student government. Yeah, again, still not a fan of this policy, like that's the record. And other than the anti-Semitism bill coming up later today, nothing else to share.
Okay. Next up is Representative Lujan, University Way.
Representative Lujan UI. This is my report. It's a rough sketch of what I'm thinking of some problem that's going on around UT. I'll just do what I have here. Here's a problem. And the problem that I've realized throughout this past week that there are multiple bikes and scooters that are constantly getting stolen on campus. So I have two solutions. One solution is a process to enable specific bike registration per dorm. The incorporation of specific home-based return in terms of bike registration, by making bike registration for dorms like independently for each one. The implementation of West Campus students with bikes, that will also have to be brainstormed. The technicalities of registering the bikes, like exactly how will be registered to each dorm is also in the process. But the overall initiative kind of goes something like this. Each dorm has an available way for you to register your bike, so a QR code or some form of your RA that you provide that you want to register for where you live. First, you have to include your first and last name, the place of your residency, aka the place you want your bike to return. Let's say if it gets stolen, unfortunately. Each dorm will have a specific designated registration information platform, maybe through GroupMe, like, I don't know if y'all lived in a dorm before, but, for each floor of a dorm, there's GroupMe specifically for RAs that like monitor it. So maybe that can also be like implemented for like a bike registration form. Let's say if it gets lost, it's announced in the GroupMe and it will be like announced like this. You have to upload. Well, first for your bike to get registered, I'm thinking you upload a frontal and a side picture of your bike and include the model and the brand. This will make keeping an eye out for your bike a little bit easier since not everybody knows what a black and blue Royal Enfield Hunter 350 bike looks like, for example. Third, if the bike is found, it can be returned to the person's dorm despite where it's left parked. The fact that there's specificity beginning at each dorm means the bike owner can be contacted easier. That's the overall idea that I have. Slowly but surely, the overall working of the connected communication between all the dorms to make a large bike platform for information and spreading it. It'll take time, but I think it's good to start somewhere. So about 20% individual dorms. There's also good news and benefits to this. As I mentioned before during my appointment, I'm a residence hall council. I'm on the residence hall council for the San Francisco dorm. So I have direct contact to RAs and to other hall councils. So I can talk to like different dorms like San Jac, I can talk to Jesser East, West, Brackenridge, all the dorms, because we have a usual meeting where all councils come together. And I have some direct contact with URHA, the University Residence Hall Association. I can definitely meet with others and find this initiative that I have, maybe find some more technicalities of how we could implement how we register for bikes individually. I'm also willing to accept anyone who wants to make access on this initiative as well. It doesn't have to be implemented like right away. We don't want it to be like necessarily put together. We want to make sure it's a good foundation, that nothing, no loopholes, nothing goes wrong. So it will take time, but with these kind of like, small packages and time heals also. I think we'll find through this and it'll be okay. That's the first solution. And the second solution I have is a backup plan in case it doesn't work. We place fake signs that say camera recording in progress on all the bikes. To prevent, you think I'm playing? People to scare the burglars, you know what I mean? So it might be something. And like every initiative we have name, I have a name for this initiative, it's something that I brainstormed. Especially when it's set in stone, these are some names that I have for this bike registration, something I have, and I'll share them with you now. Here's some of my ideas. Some ideas for this initiative that I have is bring back my bike, find my bike got swiped, unswipe my bike, I don't like no bike, no real biker, help my bike, no bike, no ride, no bike, no life, and my personal favorite, no big deal. That's my favorite.
All right, thank you so much. All right, finally, we have Representative McGill from Pharmacy. Representative McGill, are you here? All right, moving forward. All right, new business. First up, we have AR 16 in support of banning Kanye West music at sporting events. That's being fast tracked. We will allow the authors 1 minute to explain why they're fast tracking. To let you guys know, I did not approve nor did I deny the fast track. I'm passing the judgment to the Assembly based off of the recommendations, rationale that they provided why they want to fast track it. So it will be in your judgment to decide. Whenever you're ready.
Yeah, hi everyone. So there's a few reasons why we're fast tracking it. One being we will be meeting next Tuesday, so because we'll be meeting next week, we won't be meeting next week. It will just hinder the implementation process, meaning that we will be able to actually talk to administrators until the end of November, and then the semester ends because it's final. So it's just paramount to the timeline that we approve this now. Secondly, this is a time-sensitive issue, and we want to show the community that we're here to support them. And I'll pass it off to Gabriel.
Just quickly, since I spoke during the open forum last week, more and more has happened, and there's been more anti-Semitic events that have occurred at football games, just in my own personal community, and it's become a lot more personal to me and to people all across the country. So when I say that this is something that's urgent, I mean, it really is something that is urgent, and this is an amazing time for us all to take a stand together.
All right, the speaker will reclaim the remainder of their time. We'll now enter Q&A. It is a 3-minute Q&A period, I believe. Actually, 1 second, let me consult this, because I'm not sure. Okay, yes, it's 3 minutes. Yeah. All right. Are there any questions? Seeing none, the speaker will reclaim the remainder of the time and will entertain any motion. Representative Senathambi.
Representative Senathambi, College of Natural Sciences, and I move to fast track AR 16 by unanimous consent.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any objections? Seeing none, fast track approved. We'll now enter a 3-minute period for intro.
Okay, so I just want to talk about a specific event that occurred a few days ago on Saturday during the University of Florida against the University of Georgia football game. Somebody came out and they brought a projector, and on the side of the stadium it said, "Kanye is right about the Jews." And this is something I think it's kind of very representative about the bill that we are trying to pass. Football and sports is something that brings us all together. It's a place for us all to show unity, to cheer as a team, and it's a place for us for our values to be represented. And it may not seem so clear because it's, athletics, they're not very important. Like, who cares about the music that's being played? But I think that it's a time and a place for us all just to be together, and we should all feel safe there, and we should all feel that it's a comforting place. So just that one event it got me thinking that not only was this bill something that should be here, it's something that should be everywhere. And I just want to let you all know that other schools have shown a lot of interest in participating in this bill. And so this could become a nationwide campaign. I also want to add that this isn't just about Jewish people. Kanye said things about lots of different groups, and this is a time for us all to show that hate speech is not allowed. University of Texas does not stand with hate speech. Student government does not stand for hate speech, and this is how we are going to show it. Now, some of you might ask me, Xander, and all of the sponsors of the bill, why are you only limiting it to sports games? Because I want to make sure that this is actually implemented. I want to make sure that the University of Texas stands by our decision to represent the student body and say that Kanye West will never again be played during an athletic event at the University of Texas. And I think that once you start expanding things to major ceremonies and in classrooms, things start to not happen. And we've seen in student government, there's been many times when we've called for certain things to happen and they've been rejected or simply nothing ever occurred afterwards. So this is a time where we are saying we want the University of Texas to stop all Kanye West during athletic events. And we see this as something that's urgent and something that is very important for us all. So thank you very much, you guys.
I also do want to add that we have a lot of support from the Jewish community on this bill. The ZBT fraternity did sign on to the bill. We contacted other Jewish organizations as well, and even though they weren't able to officially sign on because of maybe some legal things, they do have a lot of support for us. And then just to clarify, like the point of this bill is to have the university take a very strong stance against something that is affecting a lot of people. And we know that the university doesn't really do that. And so this is probably the easiest avenue for us to get through to them. And that doesn't mean that we just stop here. It just means that we can get our foot in the door.
All right, Speaker, we'll reclaim the remaining time and we'll enter Q&A. Are there any questions? Seeing none, the Speaker will take the Q&A time and we'll entertain any motion. We already voted on the fast track.
Is there an amendment to it?
Oh, forgot.
We might have an amendment to the bill.
Sorry, motion to amend ARCC, send it to you right now.
Is it in writing or is it an email? Oh. KE. Here, I got it.
Where in the bill do you want to add
Second to last, where else?
second to last?
Make it like the second to last, where else? Would that make the most sense?
So. Wait, just confirm.
I've been on the 14.
It would come after the Adidas class?
If you can pull it up.
Like between these.
Yes, you should.
Email it to my.
Ben, all right, we'll go ahead and consider the amendment. Will the author of the amendment come up to present?
Okay, I dropped in the Slack, don't worry, this isn't gonna be anything problematic, I just want to add in a line about Kanye's multitude of other forms of racism, we also have to acknowledge that. Look, the bill is still great.
Okay, Speaker, we'll reclaim the remainder of the time. Are there any questions on the amendment? Seeing none, okay, Speaker will reclaim the time. Are there any motions? Representative Bailey.
Representative Bailey, Liberal Arts, I move to approve the amendment to AR 16 by unanimous consent.
Is there a second? Are there any objections? Seeing none, amendment is approved. Okay, any other motions? Previous questions.
Rep Bailey, Liberal Arts, I move the previous question.
Is there a second? Are there any objections? Seeing none, okay. Representative Whittington.
I move to pass AR 16 by unanimous consent.
Is there a second? Is there any objections? Seeing none, AR 16 is approved. Yeah, I'm gonna read that.
All right, I believe Representative Roberts is about to make a motion, so that's why I'm here. Being transparent.
Okay. All right, so as I said earlier, we got a war. I love all of you.
Thank you.
Okay now. To ask any questions that you may have, I don't even have questions. And so with that, I make a motion, or Representative Roberts. I make a motion to take from the table AB 8, authorizing the assembly to enact the legislative accountability package 2022 by unanimous consent.
Okay. Are there any seconds? Any objection? Okay. Is there another motion?
I make the same motion. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll do it. Just before we go into handout, I just want to clarify what we're doing in case anyone's lost. We're voting to bring back the bill that we introduced last week to the floor. The amended substitute, right?
The parliamentary agreement.
Yeah.
Is this bill being voted on today?
It would not be voted on today. We'd just be bringing it back. For first reading, so yeah. Okay, so with that, if you are in favor of reintroducing AB 8, please raise your hands. And folks on Zoom, if you want to vote yes, please raise your hand. Okay, you can put your hands down now. If you are against the motion, please raise your hand. Representative Sanatan, raise your hand up. Okay, thank you, sir. Are you still? And that goes to the people on Zoom. If you're voting no, please raise your hand. Okay. And if you are abstaining, please raise your hand. Okay, you can put your hand down now. So by a vote of 16 yeses, 3 noes, and 4 abstentions, the motion passes. So I believe now the authors will get 3 minutes to introduce and talk about their legislation.
Okay, bear with me really quickly.
Can you go for 3 minutes? 1 second. Yeah, so right now we're about to just introduce the legislation again. Yeah.
All right.
Yes, Representative Whittington. We can figure out. What was the vote? Yeah, but this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, hold on, 1 second. It was 23 plus 3. No, it was 23 total. I was thinking total. 16 for 3 against 4 abstain. What's
Okay, so yeah, so we do have a quorum present in terms of people, but because not everyone voted, a total of 23 voted, we needed 31 to have quorum. The motion does not pass. But unless there's like a roll call vote where we can call on everyone, then there is not a quorum present.
That's how that works.
In the rules of votes, does a vote need to be like, does a vote constitute as a quorum? I can check with the parliamentarian. Oh, that's right. Wait, can you just post the section? Yeah. Oh, shit. That's right.
What person? No, I said
No, I remember. You're right. It's a resolution.
Oh, is that why it's no? Oh, God. She's a fun. Oh, boy, God.
What does that mean? No. Okay.
If you were a girl, at least it's like super like. Who walked you home after mass? Oh, did you really? Yeah, I can see that in his life. He left you in the room. He never asked. No, I was.
Okay, I found it. So under section 3.34, voting definitions of, I think it's like, hold on, yeah, Title II, so Code of Rules and Procedures, Chapter 3.34. It says a resolution just has to be a simple majority of the present quorum. So because we still have a total quorum, and half the people present voted, then yes, it still counts. So with that, the authors will go ahead and continue for first reading. So they'll just talk about their bill. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so just reemphasizing what was in the original, what changed in the new version. The percentages is now gone. It's replaced with a more cumulative approach for the entire remainder of everyone's term. This will start beginning the next assembly because this is made to be changed in the code. This is this part, and the part that with regards to the incentives, speaker and representatives will take effect starting next year. The only part that will take immediate effect in this amended version is going to be the part that allows us to move the reports up to the beginning and the on for against thing, and then the 2 minutes for all reports that will take effect immediately once it's been enacted, as well as the ethical standards that were written into the bill.
I just want to emphasize that the attendance and the speaker pay will be done next year. So for the next assembly, it's not going to impact us for this assembly because that would be unfair. And yes, that's basically.
Okay, the speaker will reclaim the remainder of the time. Are there any questions? Okay, seeing no questions, the speaker will go ahead and send this to the Rules and Procedures Committee. All right. No. Joe, why is this off? Did you turn this off? Yeah. Like when you were speaking? No, we didn't. Oh, okay. Okay. Next up is ex officio reports. I know that the LLA co-directors wanted to speak, so I will give them the opportunity to do that now.
Hi, everyone. I'm CJ and I'm one of the LLA's co-directors.
We just wanted to come up here and essentially say and push up that form that I sent out last Tuesday on your all Slack to really push Assembly mentors for our LLAs. All of them are really good, intelligent, hardworking, and want to make an impact on UT's campus. And your initiatives are one way they can do that. Really hope you guys fill out that form. That form has more information on what it looks like to be an Assembly mentor. And of course, after Assembly, you guys come up to me and daily to ask any other questions, or I'm not sure if they're allowed to ask questions during this. But yeah, so essentially Zaylee's gonna talk about initiatives she did last year, so you guys get more of an idea of what it looks like to have an LLA on your team.
Hi, I'm Zaylee. I'm the other LLA co-director, and I actually did a project last year with Braxton. He was my Assembly mentor, and we worked on a NICAP project. So essentially, we like did a bunch of data, and we got funding from the project's budget to order over 500 nightcaps, and we delivered to a bunch of different sororities around campus, and we distributed them during Texas OU weekend, which is considered a red zone weekend. So it was really nice to have that. We got a lot of really positive feedback. It's not just one example of a project you could do. Obviously, the LLAs could come up with their own project. That's what we did with Braxton, or they could just kind of join you in an initiative you're already doing. But yeah, so please fill out that form and be willing to work with us. They're amazing people, and I think it would be a great opportunity for y'all and them.
We are pushing the form to close on Sunday. It's Wednesday that I initially sent out. Just wait on it too. Yeah, thank you.
All right, is there anyone from the Graduate Student Assembly, Senate, any external appointments or any policy or agency directors that would like to give any updates or reports? Seeing none. Okay. Okay, executive board reports. First up is Advocacy Director Richards.
Okay, hi everyone. For like the 5th week in a row or something, I'm booking the blood drive. So if you haven't signed up yet, which is like most of you, just if you're able to donate blood, please sign up. It's not binding right now. It's just saying that you're interested, and then I'll contact you with like the official sign up. So even if you're like thinking about it, do it. And then we're beginning planning the structure and reaching out for external work for the campus safety ad hoc, which I think all of exec has like done lots of stuff for campus safety so far, and we're kind of gonna continue that work with a broader group of people. So if you want to join that, that would be really cool, and I will send out information about that. It's really just gonna be like joining a Slack channel, so that's really easy. And then we'll do lots of good work. Also, there's a voting policy workshop coming up, and we know a bunch of voting orgs, so reps from voting orgs will be there, and it's right after the election, so hopefully everyone will be really angry about how hard it is to vote on campus, and then we can all make some changes. So yeah, this Saturday there's a health equity rally at the Capitol, and my other org is putting it on, so you guys should come. There's gonna be a live band. It's gonna be really cool. And then yeah, just office update things. New policy directors we're wrapping up this week, and hopefully that'll get confirmed next Tuesday. So yay. And then as always, put your initiatives in the folder. Yay. That's all for me.
All right, next up is Communications Director.
Go vote, as Kevin said. We're continuing website outreach right now, mostly to the agency co-directors, but we had a meeting with the Assembly Board recently to kind of start fleshing out what the legislative branches portion of the website will look like. Also, we're working on a special projects request to get more merchandise. We're also filming with the UT Outpost soon to promote their services. Also, one of my graphics first people on my staff needs submissions, so check the general Slack. And also, this is an update as of like half an hour ago, but we're going to be working on promoting the legislation that was just fast tracked to get some press coverage on it. So that's all from me. Thanks.
All right, next up is Admin Director.
I'm standing for Zion today, so I'm briefly, he met with DIA and GRA, 3 days ago, as well as ISA and LA. He's planning on meeting with UTSA and DBA tomorrow, 6 and 8, WRA meeting on Thursday at 5. DBA is hosting a meeting night this Friday, ISA mentorship orientation, Thursday and Friday as well. Coming up this week, starting tomorrow, agency teams, until Saturday. If you're interested in reading to the students at Springs Elementary, please scan the QR code, and then complete the background check, and then reach out to them as well. Following social this Sunday after RCDM at the Union at 4:30. So see you all there. And again, social calendar there if you need it. Thank you all.
All right, next up is the financial director.
Everyone, same thing as always, special projects, there's a process, except just a reminder, the fall deadline is Friday, November 18th. That means if you try and commit anything between then and the next semester, I won't even look at it. It might be the end of the project. The Government Governing Board, we completed our bias training with Senate Community Advocate Coordinator. So Senate SU is really working hard, at least on our scholarship side, to make sure we're standardizing and sure everything is as equitable and fair as possible. Besides that, we're continuing to work on our individual projects, the database and develop, and we're also trying to have a formal at the end of the semester. If anyone would like to help or ask questions, please reach out to me and my team. Yeah.
All right, next up is Chief of Staff.
I guess I know Patrick. Okay, so he's dead. He's really sick. Seriously, my name is that. So he led the SGLT meeting this Sunday. The agencies are doing a lot of cool stuff. We'll be having a stricter attendance policy to really try and make sure that we're meeting certain goals and objectives. At our next LGM, we're going to have our voices in the finals workshop. And reps would like to attend. I really encourage you guys to, because it's a really, really important workshop. UI committee accountability trackers will be released tomorrow. We're really trying to make sure that everyone that's been appointed is actually going to these meetings and that real work is being done. And yeah, my governing board, Patrick sits on it. He will be working with Daryl tomorrow from 6 to 9 to be reviewing 178 applications. So we're excited for that. Room reservations for spring 2023 is live. Everyone needs to reserve a room, let me know.
All right, Vice President.
Hi, everyone. So for my update, it's just the main the past week. I met with the former FFP chair just to get a better view of the timeline for the fall, since things really ramp up in the spring. He helped me a lot. So next 2 weeks, things are going to really ramp up. Because my office is going to be focusing on drafting a proactive outreach plan to department and hopefully releasing an application in the next 2 weeks. We also met with the PFAG internal membership and Dean Lilly last week. Luna and I both sat on meetings with university unions and Texas Access. And on the horizon, we're going to meet with Rec Sports this Friday just to see opportunities to have a collaboration. Same thing with the New Student Services Rise Summit. And we're going to solidify an outpost collaboration for our December community distribution. I know we're going to have an update about our upcoming one. And yeah, that's basically it. Here's some cute pictures from Halloween. And I had an office breakfast at 4 p.m. with my LA mentees. And they're up there and they're really cute. So.
All right, next up is the president.
Hi, everyone. Happy November and Scorpio season for any Scorpios out there. This week we're having another internal membership meeting for the President's Student Advisory Committee tomorrow at 4. Then as always, we're promoting reflection ad hoc happening tomorrow night. Also, a UI email should have gone out last week about the THECB representative application. Just a reminder, any of y'all can apply for that. And if you have any questions just about the application, feel free to reach out to me. A couple of y'all already have, which is awesome. And then the update regarding the November community food distribution, sign up will be going out next week, so I'll have that next assembly. And then for this one, we'll most likely be collaborating with emergency contraceptives for every campus. And that group did a lot of great work with the reproductive justice statement that we had over the summer. And we're just we've been working with, yes, and with the vending machine as well. So we've been working a lot with them. And they'll probably, in addition to us giving out a lot of food and snacks, they'll probably be giving out educational resources about birth control, pregnancy tests, and stuff of that nature. Also, last week, I presented the LGBTQIA plus state of affairs report to UTSA, which was like a report that was like 2 years in the making. If any of y'all are interested in have orgs that you want me to present that to, let me know. I'm one of the last authors that you can see. And then last thing, Invest in Texas. So what Invest in Texas is, it's a statewide advocacy campaign during the legislative session between all the 3 legislative student organizations, so student government, Senate College Councils, and then the Graduate Student Assembly. And Amanda Garcia, who's a policy director from Senate, reached out to us, and she's basically coordinating a tabling session next week to start to collect student ideas and input about what they want to see advocated for during the legislative session in the spring. So I will send out that message in the Slack, and if any of y'all are interested, please sign up to help out tabling. And that's all from me. I hope you all have a great rest of your week.
All right, next up is Assembly Board reports. First up is the rules and procedures.
Yeah, just a few things. One, go vote. Some of the most important things you do as a citizen. So other groups go vote. We have done it already. I'm not sure about y'all, but I think it goes down usually. So I hope they're going better for you guys than they are for me. And another one I should include is the RPC we're meeting sometime this weekend to consider the legislation that was referred to us today.
All right, next up is academic affairs.
Yeah, we're gonna have a quick academic affairs meeting after this assembly. I see we have enough people for quorum. It should be really short. It'll be like 10 minutes. And even though we're getting cooked right now, go Astros.
All right, ethics and oversight. Does the vice chair have anything they want to say? No. All right. Financial affairs.
Hi, FAC will meet tomorrow at 6 for 10 minutes, not longer than that. If you guys haven't heard the new Taylor Swift album, you should. My Holy Trinity is Glitch, Midnight Rain, and Labyrinth. It's amazing. Okay, it's for midnight.
All right, next up is governmental affairs. I know I'm the governmental affairs as a vice chair yet, but does anyone want to give any updates? No? All right. Well, I'll let y'all read that briefly. All right. Student affairs. Does vice chair have anything to say?
Just go vote. That's all we have.
All right. All right. Yeah, go vote, please. Go vote. Follow us on social media. I say this every week. I will always say that every week. Do that. Really quickly, just out of curiosity, after we pass AR 13, the housing bond, Natasha Harper Madison's so city council member of District 1 reached out to us asking if anyone had interest in visiting City Hall. Is there anyone that wants to do that? Just quickly raise your hand. You guys interest in that? Okay. So just go ahead and message me on Slack, and I'll coordinate all that, and I'll get that together. All right.
Can you create the Slack channel for them?
Yes. Can you send that to me in Slack so I'm free to do it? Okay. Thank you. All right. Next up, also still waiting a response from the Natural Sciences College regarding vacancies. They have 3 vacant representatives. I'm still waiting with them. They have about, I think, 15 days from today before the assembly board gets to decide people. I'm hoping to do it before we leave for winter, but not too sure. Assembly board will be discussing the planning of a town hall to be held in the spring. So hopefully I will have more information on that with y'all soon. But we're looking forward to doing something like that. Also, I've conducted 3 interviews regarding governing documents and voting to trust within student government. So hopefully those went well. Lastly, we will be taking the 116th assembly photo on November 29th. So all of y'all just show up, please, so we can take a photo. I can get back to you. Let me reach out to the assembly board. I can get back to the assembly board and we can see, but I mean, honestly, I come as you are.
We're doing it here?
We'll work it all out between, yeah. But yeah, just note that November 29th is the day that we intend to do our assembly photo, since we didn't get to do one back during the fall or during the spring. Just so y'all know, there is no meeting next week because of election day. So I encourage all of y'all to go vote. There is no meeting. So if you show up here, no one will be here. I will not be here. So yeah, we only have 3 more meetings for the semester. I sent y'all an email about that. So we are meeting today, not next week, week after, not next week, then the week after. November 29th will be our last meeting unless Leland or I call special session. I have no intention of doing that. So yeah. All right. Finally, go vote. And it's Mariah Carey season. It's Christmas. All right. All right, please fill this out. If you have anyone that you want to shout out, or if you have any audience feedback you want to give, I'll give everyone a brief second for that. All right, next slide. All right, these are mental health resources. Please use them if you need them. Next slide. All right, rep shout out for this week is Representative Sinathambi. Representative Cannon, do you want to claim live?
She's just so amazing, y'all. I don't worry about it.
All right, next slide. Any announcements? Anyone have any announcements they need to make? No? All right, next slide. Second roll call, please fill this out. If you're like vaguely correct, like as long as you don't put something right, we're just making sure that you're actually, as long as you're vaguely correct. You're fine. All right. Any objections to me closing the attendance form? No. All right, next slide. The chair recommends a motion to adjourn. Is there any seconds? Any objections? Seeing none, we are adjourned. See you November 15th.